Hello, welcome. This is my drumming and this is part 16. Today we're going to have a look at a song by Lenny Kravitz. It's called Are You Gonna Go My Way? And I've thought about this song a few times up until now, thinking should I have done it previously? Because in parts 1 to 5 I was doing 5 different songs that gradually progressed in difficulty, and I thought that this could have been one of those to sit in within those 5 somewhere, because it's got some really good bits in for learning, and then I left it out, then I left it in, so now it's back in. So it probably should have come earlier in the lessons. Never mind, here it is. It's a great song. There's loads of good bits to play along to. So we'll get straight into it from now. So pattern 1 is the very beginning of the song. It comes in with just the snare drum, and the snare drum comes on beats 1 and 3. So very straightforward, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, much faster, but, all the way through. Now then, as that comes along and goes through about 7 times, it then goes into pattern 2, which is a bass drum added on the 2 beat. So it's literally just snare drum on the 1 and 3 and bass drum on the 2. So I'll play pattern 1 through a couple of times and then do pattern 2. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. So pattern 2 is just 1, 2, 3 and then a rest on the 4. That's pattern 2. Pattern 3 is the little drum fill that comes in just before the main part of the song starts, and that is the and before the 1, then the 1 and, which is a quaver, and then 2 crotchets on the 2 and 3 beat. So literally the snare drum is and 1 and 2, 3. Okay? So it sounds like this. And 1 and 2, 3. Okay? So that's pattern 3. Now pattern 4 is the main beat that runs throughout the whole song. It's an 8 count, as we've looked at before. So the snare drum comes on 3 and 7, the bass drum comes on 1, 5 and 6, but in pattern 4 we're playing the ride cymbal. So pattern 4 sounds like this. Pattern 5 is exactly the same, but instead of being played on the ride cymbal, it's played on the hi-hat, and the first beat is played on the cymbal. So pattern 5 is this. Pattern 6 is the same, but without the cymbal. So what I'll do is I'll play pattern 4, 5 and 6, just so you can see the difference. There you go, 4, 5 and 6 all the way through. Pattern 7 is slightly different to the beats that we've looked at so far, because it's not a standard pattern that goes on the hi-hat and bass drum like that. You've got your 8 normal beats in the 2 bars, but with pattern 7 you've got some beats that come on the numbers 1 to 8 and some beats that come on off the numbers, which is the and parts. So in pattern 7 you've got beats 1 to 8, and then in between each number you've got an and beat. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... So there's the potential to have 16 beats in pattern 7. Now if you have a look at the music, that might be a bit clearer, because all of the and beats are shown by a note with a little tail on it. So have a look at the music, that's here now. And you can then see from the music on pattern 7 that you have an and beat before the 1, which comes on the snare, then the hi-hat and the bass drum comes on the 1 beat. Then the next beat comes on the snare, which comes on the 2. Then the next beat comes on the 2 and, which is the hi-hat and the bass drum. So it looks more complicated than it actually sounds, because the beat actually ends up sounding like this. If you had 8 beats in the pattern, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, the pattern does this. Like that. So it goes through on some of the offbeats, but there's rests in there as well. So there's actually 5 beats, and then it comes round to the beginning of the back in rhythm. So the standard pattern will do this. And that's the best way that I can describe pattern 7. It's playing on some of the offbeats. So have a look at the music, play along to the song, and hopefully you'll get what I mean in that. Without actually saying, here are the beats on these off numbers and here are the beats on the numbers, have a look, see what you think. Any questions, please ask. Now, pattern 8 is one of the ones that just goes before choruses and things. So the bass drum comes on the 1, the 5 and the 8. The cymbals come on 1 and 8, and the snares are in the normal places of 3 and 5. So pattern 8 does this. Pattern 9 is the simplest thing we've ever learnt, it's this. And that comes in on beat 7. So rests on 1 to 6 and a rest on 8 is just coming in on beat 7 just before other snare drums come in. It'll make a lot of sense when you see the full instructions to the song. And pattern 10 is very similar to the beats that we've previously looked at. So bass drum the same on the 1, the 5 and the 6, but there's like a little shuffle on the snare drum. So pattern 10 sounds like this. That's pattern 10. Here's pattern 11. Okay, so fairly straightforward. You get that little fill at the end. So it's and 1, 2, 3 and 4. And 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay? That's how that goes through. So pattern 12 is pattern 13 is the same but with no cymbal crash. And then pattern 14 is the same as pattern 8 but with no cymbal crash at the beginning. Okay, that's fairly straightforward hopefully. Pattern 15 is one of the shorter, because it just does 2 of them. And 1, and 2, crack, and then straight back into the rhythm. And pattern 16 is right at the end of the song. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 5 bars in this, very similar to the stuff we've done before. So a cymbal crash in the first and second lot of 4, cymbal crash at the end of the third lot of 4, and then just a quick fill in the final bar, and that's then the same, exactly the same fill as before, da 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 So we'll run through that. Okay, so what we'll now do is we'll run through the whole song. This is Are You Gonna Go My Way by Lenny Kravitz. Yes, okay, so I think that was probably 3 takes that I managed to get that done in. So yeah, hopefully it's good, you enjoyed it and you played along. So number 17 is coming up next. Don't know which song I'm going to do for that yet, so I'll see you then. Cheers. See ya.